Well, welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Dio. Let's talk. I have two amazing guests today. Both of them are very talented. One just started his own podcast, Views. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Nick Harris. And my other guest, he's a producer, he's an actor, he's a director. Oh, man. I'm going to spend days just reading his resume. Let's give a warm welcome to Zay Rodriguez. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing?
Thanks, everyone. Well, as always, Dio, thank you for having me. And Nick, congratulations on this. For me, it's a new journey because I've met you as an actor, and I know you've been on like these segments with Dio for quite some time. But for you to like get into, your own podcasting journey, that's awesome. So I see that's what Osiris Investing LLC. Yeah, man, definitely looking forward to the future. So kudos.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Osiris, that's my real estate company. So I use that company logo because I'm gonna start branding it out. Basically, with Osiris, what I'm doing with Osiris is I'm getting funding, and I'm funding homes for veterans. I got brothers in Iraq and everything like that. So, I want to give that to specifically veterans, make homes available, acquire rental properties, and make it strictly for veterans, for the people that's coming home and everything like that, or just ain't got a home, help them out that way.
Oh, that's dope.
That's a podcast, shout out to I got to thank Dio for that, because Dio's the one that finally pushed me to get it back going. I had one before and I just stopped, and like Dio be like, "Yo, bro, you got too much shit to talk. You do too much." And so yeah, so I give big props to Dio about that. Elvis, what's good,
Elvis,
bro?
a special guest.
Hey,
Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Salute. The squad is in the building. What's
Yes.
popping?
Elvis, I want you to meet a great director, producer, writer, actor, philanthropist. He does everything. Zay Rodriguez.
King.
It's such an honor to see you again, Elvis.
Fantastic honor.
It's funny. I was waiting till Dio, finishes that awesome introduction. I was trying to like hold my laughing because I'm like, oh, I don't think Dio knows. We've met like probably 2 years ago. We collaborated on the project together.
Oh, that's dope. I did not know that.
So yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad everybody's acquaintance. I want to thank everybody for joining me at last minute. I had a special guest I wanted everybody to watch, and last minute he cut off on me. So just want to thank all you guys for joining me in short notice. So what's going on, guys? I know Zay, you just dropped Saturday the 14th part 2. Nick, he's just dropping his new real estate company. What about you, Elvis? What you up to? I see you. I see you spitting poetry.
Spitting poetry, and I'm going around spreading mental health awareness. I mean, that's most part what I normally already do, because I'm a huge advocate of it myself as a veteran and as a minority.
Thank you for your service.
Of course, somebody who's been through trauma upon trauma like most of us have out here. But I'm also a mentor. I mentor at the Legacy Center out here. It's a building where it's sort of like a black White House, but it's the Black House. It's for us, and there's like tons of history, tons of background about us, tons of things for young minds and young boys and young kings and older kings even like ourselves to get acquainted with and get more knowledgeable about for ourselves, because iron sharpens iron. So that's definitely like a big honor for me being out here in Atlanta, being able to do, and it's just something I want to keep on expounding upon. I'm currently working on a project right now for my speaking programs. That's in a nutshell some of the things I got going on.
That's dope. Busy is good. Busy is good.
Busy as blessings.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow.
Great.
I'm happy to hear everybody's doing something, progressing slowly but surely. That's the most important part. We're doing something. Um, Zay, I want to I want to talk about it about Saturday the 14th. That's just
Okay.
funny. That's just funny.
Well, for those of you who haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. For those of you that are watching this podcast segment, go watch it. It's on YouTube. It was a fun ride. I think, for me, my strongest, suit, aside from like creating and just, getting the band together, making things happen, it's just really comedy. Um, we had a segment, a couple of weeks ago in regards to fighting with neighbors. And then Saturday, here comes Saturday, like it's funny how the tagline says, Saturdays will never be the same again. That's how I see it, when it comes down to like these movies. It was a fun time on set, a lot of laughs. These movies are like not really meant to be taken so seriously because, laughter for me is just hilarious. It's nothing to take so serious, especially during these times. Um, I'm basically, while I'm talking to you guys, I have like my laptop right here and I'm like waiting for like this other version of the film to like encode, because, I'm planning to like distribute it to Amazon Prime, and, we'll see what happens. I'm already kind of like working on the next one, brainstorming on like part 3 and what's that going to be about.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because at the end, the main what would you call it? The killer?
Yeah.
She escapes
Yeah.
that's it. So I'm thinking there's a third part, which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just kind of like brainstorming right now, like what avenues to take, who will want to be in it, what new characters are we gonna, introduce, and we'll see what happens. And speaking of Amazon Prime, Elvis, since you're here, I basically am gonna take the liberty of kind of like repackaging Too Unexpected, and also submitting that hopefully for distribution there. So, who knows, we might
Goes well
see
for
Too
you, brother.
Unexpected on there as well.
I hope it goes well for you. That sounds phenomenal.
Hopefully so.
How does it work? Like, if you can elaborate a little bit. If you don't want to, it's okay. So totally understandable. But like when it comes to like submitting your work of art to Amazon Prime, like how does that work?
So when I first heard of Amazon Prime, I'm thinking like, okay, it's just something that it's a platform you go in and you just, buy stuff. You buy movies, you buy, all types of accessories. I didn't know anything about Prime Video until, I decided to do my own research. I looked things up. And at that time, they were accepting like unsolicited, unlicensed, content, whether it was short films, feature films, music videos, the whole 9 yards. And I had submitted the first Saturday and a couple of other projects there. And, for quite some time, they were acceptive of, those films, and people will go to rent it, to watch it for free, or just to purchase their own copy. And then I think it was late 2020, they decided to remove like all short films that were unlicensed, that, were under 30 minutes. So like some of the films that I had were under 30 minutes. So those, you can still search it. Like if you search Saturday the 14th, you'll see that it was there at one point. And but the content is unavailable because obviously it's under 30 minutes. So now I'm, moving forward, any project that I do, whether it's 30 minutes and above, you can submit it for review. And if the quality is a quality and they accept it, then it gets distributed on their platform. But all you really need is just a 30-minute over film
project,
great artwork, captions, a trailer, and then that's it. And hope for the best.
Is it like, do you get do you get paid as if it was like streams? This is that same concept?
It is. The only thing with Amazon is that they basically keep the high percentage for themselves, and you get back like, you know, chunk of change.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that. Like for me, it's like I'm a realist, so it's like I know I'm not a name yet, so like I can't expect for, you know, this residual income to come in. You know, that's the idea, that's the goal. It'd be nice, but it's even nicer just to have, you know, whatever work it is that you have done, you know, and that you've had accomplished with everybody else that was a part of it, just be on a platform like that. You know, Amazon is, you know, probably one of the biggest platforms out there that people, you know, are members with. So, you know, it's really a win-win, you know, regardless of whether the financials are coming in or not. You know, just to have it up there, you know, really does mean a lot, you know, not just for me, but, you know, it should mean a lot for everybody else that was a part of the making of the movie. So,
yeah. Is it like, is it now 2020, right? Easier than back then to get your stuff out there? Like my man Elvis here, he has his own clothing line. Nick just started his podcast, right? And they're all work the same when it comes to financial and distribution. Like is when you, is it more difficult now to distribute and you get your things viewed and out there than back in the day, or is it simpler?
it really depends on like the networks that you really invest your time into. You know, like for me, you know, it's all really about the research too. Some people will just want your content just to make their platform that much more approachable in regards to, like, you know, the indie scene. Like there are people that, you know, they're just starting their own you know, platforms, you know, where you can put your movie in there and they'll just stream it, you know, each day, just so that they can get a name, you know, viewers to subscribe and whatnot. I think it's a bit easier. The only thing that makes it difficult is, you know, again, I hate to say it, but when you are not a certain
Public
stereotype
figure
or a public figure, you know, like you don't fit the mold. You know, I get that. So it's like you have to be the mold. You have to break the barriers. You have to keep, you know, pushing forward and just doing the research and, you know, seeing what avenues it is that you can take. Because
I feel there's some, like I've said this, I know I've said this numerous of times, but like I feel like there's so much traffic. Like I was talking to Nick the other day. I had to tell him, yo, send me your link for your anchor, because when I search, it's like so many views, like episode podcasts that calls views. But when I started clicking one by one, the most they had was 1 to 3 episodes.
Yeah.
The only, and I saw at least 20 to 25, and the only person that actually had content there was actually Nick. So like our same thing with clothing brand. There's so much shit out there. Like I have my own brand, which I don't promote. It'll get there on its own, right? But there's so much things out there. Like, how do you distinguish what's good or not?
When you asked, I had two thoughts. One of them was right around that ballpark. There was a time when there were sort of gatekeepers at one point, back before the internet really took off. But once it did, and it finally became this self-sustaining ecosystem that we grew to know it as over time, it then became a lot easier for the independent artist of every medium to distribute their own projects and push in their own and create their own fan bases. So it kind of just deviated. I think both lanes still exist strongly, but ultimately, if technology keeps moving forward and people continue becoming dependent on it, like we've expounded upon before, you might just see that the old ways and industries die out or adjust and become more digital in those natures. So I agree with you. The traffic just really like bombarded. There's just too many people now putting out everything that nothing really
I
happened.
mean, it's good because like the more you put out, is you're only one movie, song, shirt, episode, podcast away from breaking it,
True.
like from making it. You're like the more like me, like this will be what, my 50 something, almost 60.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I'm like I'm focusing more on just putting out there, putting out there, putting out, because I'm just one episode away from it either going viral or either somebody fucking criticize it so much that I get a tons of fucking views, right? Like to just, you know, keep putting shit out there. Like since I met Zay has fucking done a massive fucking upload of movies.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I am my own worst critic. And it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, you just get better each, you know, each project that you do, each podcast segment that you do. The whole point is just to keep creating and to keep releasing content. You know, like it could get, I wish I had someone hired just to kind of like do all the uploading and do all the marketing, because it is draining.
Yes,
you know, if you're just, you know, a one-man band. And you know, either way, like I think like that, like, oh, you know, I wish I had someone that I can, you know, just pay every, you know, every week or whatever, and say, hey, you know, just keep up with managing the page, you know, uploading, you know. But once you do it, you get, you know, all this traffic that you didn't imagine that you can get, you know, people from all over the world saying, oh, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Do you need assistance? If you ever need, you know, someone, a makeup artist or this and that and third, just help. People really are, you know, open to that. And it's only because of the traffic that you're basically, well, not the traffic, the content that you're uploading and the traffic that you're getting, you know, it's, again, it's just a win.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Like after I made a year, which is episode 53 with Nick and Elvis. Go check that out.
That's when you guys were talking about the corona.
Yeah. That I had COVID. I had a head cold.
Yeah.
But they categorized it as COVID.
Yeah.
Like I'm grateful that like you people are just telling me, hey, go check this guy. Like they're referring people, and people are asking me that it's getting at least before 2022 came in, I already have my month booked, and it's getting more hectic. Like the more people want, like I'm noticing I can't keep tabs.
Yeah,
because it's so much, and I'm like I gotta pay for somebody to help me, but then it's like I get clusterfuck. Like I worked so long as an employee, and my biggest problem when I was an employee was like nobody does it as you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a hit or miss. That's a hit or miss because like I could be fucking drowning, and because of my ego and pride, I'm not asking for help. But then I ask for help, and nobody has the vision, the passion. Like people, you know, really going to work just to, all right, I'm here till 5. Let me find something to do, get this check and bounce.
Here's what I'll on that, bro. It's more so along the lines of at this point, finding your lane, because you had to play every role, every match.
I'm gonna have to cut you off, bro. You're here, you're flexing your muscles. You're gonna have Nick take off his jacket. He gonna flex his muscles, and then you're gonna have us. We're like, "What's up? Yo, we got some too." I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Continue. I apologize.
I had to take an assessment myself, find out where my strengths were and where my weaknesses were, despite all of the work that I know I want to keep doing, because nobody does the designs that I do. Nobody has ideas, and nobody at the end of the day is going to care to stay up 24 hours until it looks right to you the way you like. That's just bottom line. But there are people out there who do have better sets of skills in the same lanes as you that they've worked on as well, just as passionately in their own way. It's more so about now on that level, because now we're going level by level where we're only going up because that's how we do as kings out here.
I'm into that.
About expounding upon who you already know you are, the best lane for you that you love to be in, and just excelling there, and then dishing out as the boss, dishing out the other roles to those just as passionate. And unfortunately, man, it's a little bit of trust in there too that goes along with it, and some faith.
Yeah,
But when it's just right, bro, it's just right. And I've seen it happen time and time again.
I feel that.
And to the point about just continuing to go, guys, this is the first sweater I ever made. Way back in 2016 when my son was born. Wow. And like, that was the defining year that I made the conscious decision to start throwing away the 9-to-5 mentality. And I'm not downing anybody that chooses the lane. It's about finding your happiness ultimately. But I chose my lane at that day, and it's about just continuing to go, because every design and every new thing that you keep doing, this isn't even a promo no more. It's just showing the different levels. You just keep on growing the more you keep practicing. You keep on expounding upon what you do. So salute to the both of you guys for making those.
I'm into that. Nick, what's up, brother? You're quiet. Any thoughts?
Back
to you, sir.
Well, no, I enjoy, you know me. I like listening first. I enjoyed everything what y'all just said. Zay, I gotta say, I did watch the 14 part 2. And like I said, I messaged Zay about that, and I said, bro, the one part with the dead slipper. So I don't know who came up with that part, but that part just stood out to me because it was just like,
yeah, it's like the most random shit makes the movies, right? If you look at Fighting with My Neighbors, it's like I like, yeah, I was so entertained that like at some point a dildo came into the picture, and I still I didn't know where the fuck it came from. The random as shit.
Yeah, shit like that had me cracking the fuck up. I'm just sitting there watching that shit, and I said, yeah, I'm sending him a message like, yo. I'm like, yo, who really came up with this idea with this slipper? I'm like, because I said it just stood out to me. Like I was just cracking it up.
Yeah, it wasn't even like, it didn't pass like my brain. I was just like, because for me it's like when I'm on set, like it's I'm just different. Like it's like I know it's a fun movie, but like my mentality is, like it's very serious. It's very like when there's something funny, that's said or done, obviously, I'm human, I'm gonna laugh, but like I'm there to work. I'm there to actually just make sure that everything, is running smoothly, that people are feeling great, they're feeling good, and they're having a good time. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to hire anyone, bring them to set or anywhere that they feel uncomfortable. So like I'm basically all over the place, so I don't really have that time to really enjoy it all until like the very end, where I'm watching it as everyone here, and I see the sandal getting thrown at the chick, and it's hilarious. And I think it's even going to be more hilarious because I just added a sound effect. That the one that the cut that you saw, it didn't have a sound effect. It was just, she threw it, bam, it just hit her. Now this is like you'll hear like the whole like punch, karate punch sound effect that I added to it. So it's just like it just adds a more comedic element to it once that version gets released. But yeah, man, I just want to make movies that people want to watch. Like not movies that you're like, oh, okay, it could have been this way, or I would have done it this way. I mean, that whatever is really fun to watch, that's the kind of movie I would want to do. I don't know.
Makes
like
sense.
All right, I remember when you first connected with me and you sent me some of the stuff you previously and I said, it's this movie I watched. It's called Murder Loves to Kill Too.
Okay.
If you never see that, go watch it. It's all right. So for me, it was funny, but the idea is it's the title itself. Murder loves to kill too. And so basically, the killer ends up getting killed at the end, but it was murder that killed him. Like, he thought he murdered the first person he murdered, basically came back to kill him. And I'm like, okay. And like, I watched that, and then I watched some of the stuff you do. I see with some of the angles, like as we had conversations before, you told me like what you're aiming for and things like that. So I salute you on that, because I'm like, damn, I said, okay, he got the angle he's looking for, and he's going for it, you know, and he's gunning for it. And also touch on, as you said, Theo, you said like how we, is it easier now versus then? Yeah, there was definitely blockers back then. You had to do, as
it was definitely less information. Because now you got, you know, YouTube, you could Google it, you can, the information is accessible.
Yeah, so you don't got to do that old saying, you know, people do strange things for a piece of change. You ain't got to go through all that crap that much no more. If you really sit there and think about it, because back then you had to do some shit to really get known. Because you gotta remember, we didn't have cameras, iPads, and stuff like that. So in order for you to get known, you really had to do some dumb shit. And another thing that I'm pretty sure y'all noticed, but something that really gets y'all noticed, which I think is very useful, because I'm still pursuing acting, I'm still doing my real estate business. I'm still coming up with skits that I'm about to start shooting myself and everything. And the hashtag algorithm for social media is one of the key things to promote what you're doing. Because people, I don't know how they do it, but they search these hashtags. And when you use them in your posts, like on social media, and it's a public page or it's a business page, whatever, it all pop up. You know, when you scroll through social media, you get this one person that pop up. You're like, what the hell is this? I ain't see this pop up, but you know it's gonna pop up because it's based off your searching. The algorithm. If we learn how to use those more, you get known quicker. You get known faster. I mean, I met somebody in freaking Germany that actually liked one of my episodes from my podcast before I relaunched it back. And he's like, hey, man, I really like this episode, da, 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 da. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, bro, where you from?
I'll tell you this, when it comes to the audio version of the podcast, I feel like, me personally, I could be wrong because I just don't know, right? But I feel like there's an untapped potential there. Like, there's not really any way, like, the most effective way to promote your thing is YouTube. YouTube ads work. They're better than fucking Facebook, Instagram ads. YouTube ads work.
YouTube paid ads works?
Yes, it works. It works to your benefit. For the person behind doing it works to their benefit. Yes. Yes, it works. I've tried numerous other things that I've fucking paid money and don't work. And I think if someone able to develop something for like audio versions, and we take initiative, there's most likely to find a increase in success.
But it's good information to know.
Yeah. I want, there's two things, right? Like, I want to create and I want to create a dream, inspire, obtain society. Like, it involves all you guys. It's a private connection, in where the only goal is to help one another succeed humbly, right?
Yeah.
Like, I already started with my Facebook group. I have 40 something people there, but I want to do more. You know, I was thinking about you, Zay, the other day when we dropped the episode of fighting with my neighbors. Like, we need to connect more with people like us.
Yeah.
In the same as the same level as us. Like, if you find an upcoming journalist that has the same vision as us and is on the same level, that's how we connect with them. Filmmaker,
Years.
Yes, yes. Because once we do that, we're creating our own network, and we're like growing our own generation.
Yeah.
You know, like when like freak, what was that?
A coalition.
I wasn't gonna say coalition, but like you like Zay, you can relate to this, like Geeks and Freaks, or like Kevin Smith. When he first came out, you had like Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, like a whole group within that era.
Yeah, it's like Adam Sandler. You know, he's always working with the same people.
Yeah.
It's people that you've met, you've grown to admire, you've grown to respect, you've grown to love, and you share, similar values, similar vision, and they're passionate. I always say that, whatever it is that you're doing, it doesn't have to be the arts or entertainment business. Just be passionate about it. Be genuinely humble. And that's another thing too. Like, humility comes, a mile away, and it goes the distance. And a lot of people, today everybody wants to be a podcaster, an actor, a filmmaker, a model, and that's great. But you really got to put in the work. It all really comes down to the work. Like famous people nowadays, they, not all, but the majority of them have paved the way. They've worked their asses off to be where they're at. And kudos to them. But like with me, people ask me and they say, hey, why don't you like move and go to like Hollywood? And I'm like, that's probably
what the fuck.
I really don't. I thought about it.
I mean, I would like to get out of Jersey at some point in my life.
Right. It'd be nice to like want to move, but it's like, is that really gonna make me happy?
Yeah, is it gonna make a difference?
My thing is, you make it wherever you're at, whether it's Jersey, whether it's in Georgia, whether it's in, Pennsylvania, and just continue to, create, continue to focus, and just genuinely connect, with people.
Now, I'm gonna ask this question, and I want each one of you to give me your opinion on it. Is it safe to say that not everybody's meant to be an actor or a singer or a podcaster or a model or a real estate agent? I'll start with you, Nick.
No, I can't say it's safe to say that, because the reason being, it's how can I put it? Okay, so if you work at it and you're grinding for it consistently, eventually it's going to pay off. Whatever it is you're doing, I honestly believe that it's going to pay off. There's people that was close to giving up on acting because people kept telling them no. And then they found this one spot where the person gave them a shot. Now they one of the top motherfuckers in acting, period. Same thing with being a realtor. Like me personally, I'm not a realtor. I know that for a fact.
I feel you 100%, brother.
I would sit there and snap like, yo, if you ain't gonna buy this house, stop talking to me. Like that's my patience was where it then so quick with that, and I know that for a fact. But there's people that struggle to sell houses, but once they got that niche and figured it out, like how to sell it, because the thing is, when you're trying to do something, rather it could be the same thing or not, you have to find your way of doing it, not what you see how people doing it, not how you see it this way and that way. Like Tyler Perry, for example, he's a great example of that. For years, they told that man no.
Listen, the only movie I can't relate to him is was it Alex Cross, when he's like an action.
The voice in him, you can tell that never went away. That never went away. But the whole thing with Tyler Perry, though, they kept telling him no. They kept telling him you're not gonna make it. You're not this, not that. That dude was living in his car. Everything he got, he earned. He was living in his car to make it, and when he figured it out, he made it. So I can't say it's not for everybody that people have felt. I think is sometimes people struggle in finding the niche for them to get into what they're really trying to do because they're just trying to imitate what they already see instead of being their own true person and who they are inside. You get what I'm saying?
That's a very good point.
So that's my answer. That's how I see that.
Gems, baby, gems.
Mr. Matos.
I say yes because you are exactly what you say. If you say that you give up and you're done and you can't do it, okay, that's the complete truth. You ain't never wrong whether you win or lose. That's a perspective. Winning and losing has nothing to do with what the actual experience you're gaining out of the journey is. Winning and losing is a standard we done set as a society. I mean, it's what we have to go through. It's kind of how we make markers, but it's only for that lane. It only goes that far. But when you're really trying to people and you're trying to build and you're trying to learn, as he's saying, you're really trying to get through into your niche, you have to make a conscious decision every day not to give up. You have to make a conscious decision every day to choose to do it again, just that little bit different, again, and continue tweaking over and over. You have to make the decision to sacrifice the time, no matter what everybody else around you keeps saying. And so I say yes because everybody that wants to be somebody knows what it takes to get there. They just don't understand that you have to continue to choose that. And so that's where I stand with that.
Mr. Z.
Very interesting perspective, gentlemen. I would say that what you call it, sometimes, you fantasize with the idea of wanting to be an actor, wanting to be a director, or wanting to be a producer. And you really, really believe in yourself, despite what people tell you. My thing is you have to go through the trials and tribulations. You have to go through life. You have to work. You have to see if it's really meant for you. Because if it's not meant for you, guess what? You're going to find something that you truly like just by seeking something that you thought you wanted. I've known people that say, I want to be an actor, and they go to school, they graduate. The first thing they go is they travel to California, and they think they're going to make it there. Yes. And the thing is, people tell them, you suck. And that's that. I can only imagine how heartfelt that might feel at first, because when you truly want to do something and someone's telling you suck, it's not to bring you down or anything. There are some people out there that, yeah, they want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And I get it. But the fact of the matter is that, who knows, maybe you end up doing other things that makes you realize, oh, I wanted to be a teacher, but I wanted to be a teacher teaching acting, something along those lines or within that field.
Yeah, you start as lives, as you continue to go out through life, you start without realizing falling into place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything falls into place. Everything that, you're going through, like right now, for us being into this, in this podcast segment right now, this is just how things are supposed to go. Mm-hmm. It's basically all part of the journey. Mm-hmm. So regardless of how many times you fall down, you're always gonna, the universe is always gonna pick you up. It's gonna push you. That's a different topic. Yeah. For a different, a different time. But you have to follow spirit, and spirit would always guide you to where you definitely
amen to that.
Need to go.
That's part of the challenge of this life. You have to choose. You have to honestly, I think I made a video about this joint. Not everybody is supposed to be the boss. Not everybody's meant to be the number one guy. Not everybody can be anyway. Not in this reality anyway. But everybody can be the number one guy in their lane.
Yeah. Your story. Focus on your story. See, I've always, I don't know, at one point, I always wanted to do movies or shows or shit like that. You know, like back in the day, I did that Batman Cacophony fan film. I was in one of my buddies' movies called V for Dial V for Vengeance, and it did great, like across the pond. I still haven't seen the movie. Well, I think I saw it, I just don't remember it. It's kind of weird. I started asking myself, what the fuck did I get myself into? But at some point when I had my son, like I was like, I don't want to be famous no more, man. I don't want to be a movie actor. I just want to be dad. That's all. And to this day, that's all I want to be.
And that's a win. That's a fucking
Yes.
win.
And then until one point, you know, I get these what one will call epiphanies, right? And I realize this motherfucker's gonna grow up. This motherfucker is gonna make his choices. He's gonna fall in love. Whatever the fuck he's gonna do, he's gonna move out. He's gonna build his life. If I'm raising him right, he's gonna want to live a life, not be at home with mommy and daddy, right? So I was like, I gotta do something for me. I've always been into writing, um, and creating shit. It's just the time. So I started doing this podcast, which I want to say, looking back now, like my first year was full of trials errors. You ask me, I give a shit. No. You ask me the mistakes. No, I don't care. I think that year was very therapeutic for me as a person. I got to talk about a lot of shit that I was holding in for so long. And this year, like I have a different agenda. I wanted to get to know more about people, learn about what makes them tick, you know, what do they have to say? Because we all have something to say. We all have something to contribute, especially if you're someone that has overcome so much. Like you lost a cousin and you took that moment to share it the other day, right? You with your experience growing up, you with the shit you went through last summer and shot in the head. Right? We all have something meaningful to contribute. And I've been listening. I've been not listening, but I've been hearing a lot lately that Jordan something that he says we're supposed to be savages. Yeah, you go, Jordan Peterson. We're supposed to be savage first. Be fucking the ultimate savages, and then try to be calm.
For a second, I thought she was gonna say Jordan Peele.
Peele.
That's what I thought. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was gonna say Jordan Peele too.
Oh man,
like,
how's it go?
Peterson. Can't we pronounce all these white names?
Oh, he's a class.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Jordan too. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
Peterson. And I think majority of us to see where we at, from Zay to Elvis and Nick, I think we all been savages. I think it's time to try to be a little calmer, and that's how we're gonna able to achieve success.
Oh man,
yeah.
Nah, man, I'm on my 300, bro. King Leonidas. All right.
Nick came in with glasses. Yeah, a nice coat.
Okay. I'm kicking people in the pits. Yeah, I was watching that movie earlier, man. I love that movie, man. That's my movie right there. I love that.
Man. What do you guys think about public figures and this generation of like everybody? Like I had this interesting conversation with somebody who started following me, and he's like, I'm a public figure. And I'm like, okay, but what do you do? I'm a public figure. Okay, but what do you do? I just create some content and put it out there. Okay, so what kind of content? You know, any content that works. I'm a public figure. And I ignored him after that.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Public figure. One of the definitions is exactly what that guy does. Just put shit out there, and somehow you're publicly known. Another public figure is I guess you could say a celebrity or a local celebrity or a person that's known for doing good in certain neighborhoods.
Yeah, but see that you're breaking it down. If you're a public figure, you're supposed to be known for something.
Mhm.
Like if Elvis, he's a poet, he has his own apparel, he's a bodybuilder. Like you're known for this shit. But the guy, he's just giving me an edge. I'm a public figure.
Well,
Yet again, but for what?
No niche, no lane.
What
no
kind of content? Be more
okay.
defined.
Well, you ever seen I forgot. It was a stream of movies, and it's just one character that just kept reappearing in the movies. I forgot, it was a sequence. And his role was nothing. And he's known for nothing. I gotta look up, and it was on Netflix too.
Just walking around.
He's they even made a TV show about something similar like that.
Seinfeld?
Was it a movie? I love Seinfeld. But no, the movie, the guy was just known for being in a commercial.
I know what you're talking about. He's the guy from The Office. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but he was just literally known for just.
You're that guy. You're that guy.
Just
in the back,
you know,
being one like, to stand in.
For example, my nickname, right? My nickname is Nick Bean.
You eat a lot of beans.
I got that nickname in 8th grade, and it stuck with me till now. And the crazy thing is, it's people that know I'm Nick Bean, and I got no clue who the fuck they are. That scares me sometimes. They're like, yo, Nick Bean. I'm like, did we go to school together or something like that, whatever. You know, but there's always people talking, and there's always people saying stuff or mentioning stuff. Like, I had chicks come up to me in jobs that I worked, like, yo, I seen you in this club. And I'm like, I just go along with it. Like, yeah, I was in the club. I've never been in that damn club.
Bro, those are called stalkers. Okay? Yeah. That's stalkers, bro. I'm going to let you know right now. Like, stalkers.
You could be known. Like, I don't want to be known for nothing, but, like, people kind of know me, and I don't have no clue who they are.
Bro, the stalkers. I would, if you got some license or name, just put a restraining order. I think your life might be in danger. Zay, what about you?
Security work, bro.
Pineapples. Was ready taken.
For public figures, again, it's like it goes back to what I was saying. You know, nowadays everyone wants to be an actor, or not that everybody wants to be an actor. Everybody is an actor. Everybody's a public figure. Everybody's this. Everybody's that. Cool. However, what makes you a public figure? You know, like, okay, you have a couple of content out. Okay, for me, it's kind of like more. I like things that are meaningful. You know, like, you can be a public figure all you want, but, you know, be a public figure at your church, you know, because you're a pastor, that, you know, the people that go to your church, you're coming, the public is coming to see you. You're well known for a specific group. You know, you don't necessarily have to be well known by the whole entire country, but, you know, like, the people that know you, to me, that's like a public figure. You know, people that you can relate to. You know, like, right now I can sit there and say, you know, you guys are public figures. You don't have to be on TV or own a $5 million mansion. You know, you get somewhere, you know, some people out there know you guys. You know, they've been on your, you know, on your podcast. They've been training with you. They've been what you call you've been telling them about your vision, you know, and that's to the public eye, because you're talking to human beings, you know, and that's a public. So for me, I mean, it's good, but it depends on, again, you know, who you are as a figure, you know, how you carry yourself, you know. So that's all I really got to say about, you know, public figures. I mean, to me, a public figure is just yourself and what you have to offer to not just yourself, but to, you know, your public. It can be your friends, it can be your family, strangers, you know.
I wish, I
Come
wish,
humble.
I wish Instagram would put something like "Just be a I'm a human or I'm a person."
Yes,
I,
yes.
I like that. I like that way more. What
I
about your
enjoy.
thoughts, Elvis?
A public figure is a public servant. I am a public figure because I seek my public. I go to my public. I'm not known because I did something that gets people to come looking for me for whatever reason. I'm a public figure because I go to seek out the true wealth, the true value. What makes me a public figure is the real known truth of how the entire thing works. People make everything happen. Nothing is without people agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't have the people approving, it's like, I don't know if you guys are like nerds like I am, but I read a lot of anime. A public figure to me is like being the Hokage.
I read Batman. I'm sorry.
A public figure to me is like Batman. You don't become that high caliber simply because you're the strongest. You become that high caliber.
I'm repping my colors. You can't see, but it says Batman. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me, dog?
Dragon.
Hey, I got the shirt up. Got
Can't
you.
miss anime without Dragon Ball Z.
You know what I'm saying? Well, public figure to me in that sense is someone who gets acknowledged by the community. When the community itself sees that you've become somebody who's been inspiring and has aspired to things, who's fell and have gotten back up, and people have witnessed this through your works and through whatever means you've had to go through. To me, that's what a public figure becomes over time. It's not
see, like last night I had a conversation, like and they're always throwing these like indirects, right? Like no, because everybody wants to be Instagram famous. And usually I ignore it and I laugh it out. It doesn't bother me, but last night it bothers me. And I snapped. And I was like, the goal is not to be a public figure. The goal is to be effective. So I started breaking it down. See, I don't, like I told him just like that, I don't give a fuck if you like me. I don't. That doesn't matter to me. The only reason what I do is because one, I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I'm finding some therapy for me as a person. Second was is start creating some credibility and value me as a person, so that I no longer have to knock on doors. So now the doors, when I walk, they just open. Like I go real deep with my shit because I have an autistic son and nobody's helping me. I've explained this numerous of fucking times on the podcast, and nobody's helping me. Not even the fucking government. I can say even if their funds are there, they're not helping me. So I got to think out the box, and I got to be somebody of value, somebody of influence, somebody that I used to open doors for people. Now motherfuckers opening doors for me, respectfully, right? And that's the person I never wanted to become, but that's the person I need to become. Because as you all know, right, when it comes to your dream, your passion, your goal, your aspirations, your accomplishments, your achievements, you go first.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was a second.
Yeah, it's a lonely world.
Yes, it is. It's lonely, and the higher you get, it's colder and colder and colder. And you know, I've never had money, right? I've had money in my pocket, but I've never been rich. But I understand this because I never lived a life of the mindset of a broke man's mentality, a poor man's mentality. So you walk in my house, you think I'm here, fucking, I got money like that. No, I know how to take care of my shit. I know when you walk in that door, you better respect my shit, right? It's creating value.
You have spiritual wealth before you had physical, monetary wealth. Mm-hmm. That is why celebrities fall apart. because people who grow up in a lifestyle grow up under a superficial human-made entity that only teaches you how to continue to consume to fill in a void, when in reality you were already you from the get. Brother, you didn't become anything more than what you already were. You were just shown a bigger reason why it mattered, and why you were the reason, or not the reason, you were the pillar that had to make it move forward.
Meant to that. Meant to that. Have you guys ever been judged because
Praise be to the Most High.
people tend to judge you because they feel like you're cocky or you're you have an ego, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, especially
can't do sport.
Or you're too confident.
No, it's you know, and I you know, I gotta always be honest with self first, and before I be honest with anyone else. When I was younger, you know, in my 20s and early teens, of course I was cocky and I'm untouchable. I'm having the best time of my life. Nothing is ever gonna like come in between that. Boy, was I wrong. 35 now, looking back, I laugh, and I laugh because during those times, I was judged, rightfully so, in a sense where it's like, the people that were judging me, it wasn't out of malice. It was just simply, trying to make me see things that I couldn't see because I was just so blindsided with, just my youth and just living the Villa Loca until life started to knock on my door and started to like humble me, having to, bury people that I was hanging with, like
it's hard to stay humble.
It's very hard, but at this point, like I welcome any kind of critic or judgment because I'm not who I was before, and I feel like a lot of people, they just remember that one version of you that's all they can see. But it's crazy because that just makes me think and say, that's still you. That's no longer me. Like at the end of the day, you become better, you become wiser, you become smarter. You grow out of that, mentality, and you start to put attention to things that really do matter. So when it comes down to judgment, yeah, I've been judged. I mean, for one, for being who I am, a man attracted to other men, it's just it's just crazy, man. Like for me, it's just like it is what it is. It doesn't break me. It doesn't, it doesn't contribute to nothing. I welcome it because it's the fuel that keeps me going. And it's like the biggest stage that I have is life. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest stage that I'm on right now, that we're on right now. And the people that want to see us do bad, that's okay. You guys can sit right in the front row and continue to watch because you guys have every opportunity in the world to be on this stage too.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. So yeah, of course, we're judged every day.
I started like realize I really have I don't really give a fuck about that until like now, this year especially. And my wife tells me all the time, "Oh, you're cocky, you have like you're arrogant, your ego," and it's like no. But I can never explain, right? Then I watched this short clip of 50 Cent that everything like clicked together, right? And like, how much obstacles I've had to overcome. If I walk that way, it's because I earned it. If I talk that way, it's because I earned it. And people sometimes, when they see you, you make them feel insecure. And you got to start addressing them. That's not my fucking problem. Yeah, when I've had this conversation with Nick. When I first started doing jujitsu, right? Everybody want to break me. Everybody wants to choke me out. Right? Everybody, because I had that swag, the cockiness. It's like, shit, motherfuckers would choke me up and I'll still walk out the same, like just like I walked in. That's not going to change me. People are very, listen, I can't be held accountable because how I make you feel, that's on you.
Yeah.
Every step I went, I had to walk through that shit. I had to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm 5'6" and I walk around like I'm 6'7", heart of a lion,
coddling other people's emotions on account of what you figured out about you.
we all know it ain't an easy word out there. It will take advantage of you. It will chew you and spit you out. Like,
and I think that's what's needed. And it's crazy that I say that because it's like, if I didn't go through what I went through, how can I be, where I'm at today? So I look back and, it sounds crazy, but again, I'm a firm believer that, spirit will always guide you to where it is that you have to go.
100%, yes.
Whether it's through the good storms or the bad storms or, the ups and downs, at that very moment, yeah, it sucks. You feel a certain way because you're human, you have emotion, and as much pride as it is that you have, you still feel. At the end of the day, it is needed. It is a requirement. You are always going to be evolving. The men that we are right now, we're not going to be the same in 10 years. We're still constantly evolving. So,
and we're not even gonna have the same struggles.
Mm-mm.
One of the main struggles is it's financially
and bone aches.
Yeah, and if you keep doing what you're doing, like Nick said earlier, you keep doing what you're doing. Like one day, the biggest problem is having too much money. More money, more problems. Right?
I can relate to your situation too, though, about the whole ego thing. Listen,
but you brolic as hell. You barely walk in the door. They look at you like, this is another one. I'm gonna start a petition to put on a shirt because like
I got blessed. I got blessed
with you.
I got blessed with a little more knowledge by a queen that I build with, and this is what you got to do. Another gem: keep around people that build you up, not deteriorate. People should know that one off rip. But it's a big difference, bro. Huge difference. And here's the thing: is it's not cockiness. It's none of that stuff, and it's not so much so that we have to enforce that upon anybody else. It's more like, how do I describe it, man? It's like this reassurance has nothing to do with making and putting people off. It has everything to do with exposing and showing and living through what you said, what you earned. But that's the thing, is you don't just get there and just have that. There's meaning behind it. People don't see the sacrifices that you have to put through. But to gain that humility in and of itself has to be the thing that you have to get past. There's been too many times I've been humbled in my life, losing things and being checked and being put in place mentally where I thought I was and then realized I wasn't. And I got rechecked again in the best way. Someone reminded me of my royalty and how it was already set in stone from the beginning. Bro, my name is Elvis, right? You reword that, and it's literally, well, what did this person say?
What did you say?
They reworded this thing, and it came out as lives or lives.
Yes.
And they said, and he said
lives.
to me, lives. And I'm like, okay, I get that. Your name is Elvis, you said, right? So the king. And then there's leadership included in there. And then you reword that, and he lives. Who is he? He being the most high. And I'm just sitting here like, stop, man. Like, yo, these are the moments that matter. And that's why you carry yourself the way you do, because you understand an identity about yourself that you had to go through a ring of fire to understand. You sacrificed a comfort out of your life to gain an ultimate knowledge like Odin. So it's way bigger than what people can comprehend unless they go through their own levels. And I completely relate and understand that.
It's like looking at, it's basically that individual, that angel, that what you call it told you that it's just a mirror. It's the reflection that, you know, you basically should have seen in yourself. It's, I always say, you know, you are your own cheerleader. You have to look at yourself in the mirror every single time and cheer yourself on, because no one is going to do it. No one's going to hand you nothing. So you have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself every day.
Mad times in times of crisis.
Yep, accountability.
Yo, just reminding me, yo, yeah, going through this and it sucks, but you still got to get through it, bro. This nigga just nonchalant. Yeah, bro, but you still got to get through it. And I'm like, oh, all right, bro, you right.
Accountability every day. Be held yourself accountable for everything. What about you, Nick?
Being judged. I've been judged a lot.
I mean, it's always motherfuckers gonna judge. I mean, I have a whole career on it, right?
I've been judged a lot. People have said I was cocky. I think I'm the shit. And you know,
you told them I am the shit. Matter of fact, I'm the pot of the shit.
Nah, look, I tell people all the time, like, in my own mind, I am the shit. Like, within myself, I pipe myself up every day, every morning. I sit there, tell myself when I'm brushing my teeth, washing my face, good morning, King. Let's have a good day. Let's, you know, and all that. And people tend to judge me because how I carry myself. I have this walk, and a lot of people hate it because they be thinking I'm about to come up on them and swing on them and shit. And I said, no, it's just not that. It's just that I said, for me, it's what I've been through. Like, I grew up in North. All right. I grew up in the hood. So I'm a light-skinned motherfucker. I had the rumble. You think that light skin versus dark is real.
That's real. That's real.
That shit, okay, that shit is real. People don't
You think
like, yo, that shit not a myth. It's real. I said, I got jumped.
They used to say you Drake looking ass motherfucker.
Look. They think he gonna walk through the hood like, nah, we gonna get him. Like,
they hear singing your melodies and we rapping bars.
That shit real. I mean, I never really wanted to participate in anything like that, but you know, I'm always gonna stand my ground. I'm not gonna start nothing, but you start with me, I promise you, I'm gonna finish it. The end of the story. But people always thought that, and because like I have people that was mad at me because they see me doing the right thing, for example. So me doing the right thing and being around people that don't have a level of maturity or a level of understanding, they automatically going to judge you like, oh, you just think you the shit and this and okay, yeah, I grew up in the hood, but I ain't got to do hood shit. I could go to work. I ain't got to stand in front of the corner store thinking I'm hustling, making or supposedly making $200 standing on the corner and shit. I ain't got to do none of that shit. You know what I mean? I choose to go to work. I choose to be a dad. I choose to be a father. I choose to be involved in my kid's life. You know, you generate hate you get judged from shit like that from people that don't have a certain level of understanding or a certain level of maturity. So I've been judged in those type of ways. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I have come off like an asshole. And if I ever do,
that's the first step, you know, is admit it is, you know, I'm a hater.
I'm a hater. Before, and I have made amends with that. I apologize. You know, I will apologize. Like, look, I'm sorry. I peeped how I said that, and I don't want to come off as an asshole. That wasn't supposed to sound like that. And I'll do my best to make it right. So sometimes, the judgment against me is because, you know, sometimes I'm an asshole. And look, I'm a Pisces. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a petty motherfucker sometimes. So. My pettiness is
you
like you do some petty to me. I'll be petty to you one way or another.
Pisces.
Oh man, don't get me started.
Yeah.
These they already know.
I do. Pisces, look, let me tell you, Pisces, look, I'm not trying to get all astrological here, but when it comes
let's
down
get
to
into
like
that shit. Fuck it.
Pisceans, they will remember shit that you did 50 years ago, and exactly not just
You remember that $5
shit,
you owe me? It's been 10 with
the
interest.
time, yes, the time, the date, what you was wearing, what they were wearing, who was around,
That's some
they
petty
will
shit
literally
right
be like,
there,
but
right?
remember that time? But remember that time? They will they want to prove a point. And I'm not saying that their point is invalid. They will remember. But at the end of the day, yeah, they could be, petty. They have to rebel on something, but at the end of the day, like, and it's crazy too that Nick just said Pisces, because I was gonna say, when you guys were talking about your egos, like Dio, you was talking about your ego, and like you're saying that what you call Elvis got which egos too, and I'm like, oh shit, that sounds like me too, because I'm like,
But
I'm
a Leo. I'm a Leo.
well,
Just
you're a
looking at that.
firebender.
Yeah.
You're a firebender, so, and I'm a firebender, and Mr. Elvis over here, he's an Aries. So you got like the three triple fire elements here. So it's
burn
just
that
like,
shit down.
yeah, and it's not, again, it's not that what you call it. It's such an ego problem. It's the simple fact that for me, I'm just a passionate person. I consider myself a little larger than life. I could get annoying, but it's not the annoying where it's just like, it's a bad thing. It's just, I genuinely want to see everybody succeed. I want people to excel and push themselves to the highest of the highest, because at the end of the day, life is short, and it's one of those things where I just, again, like, I don't really got time for the BS. I don't like hypocrisy. I don't really do that. It's just, like genuine connections. Like this right now, this is something that I consider as a genuine connection. We're all hearing each other out. We're talking, to some people it's like, yeah, you guys are just shit talking. Well, let us shit talk.
Yeah.
Because clearly, like,
good shit talking.
Yeah. Let us shit talk.
Smell it.
It is
Smell
what it is. It's just, like, again, like, people really, there is a mental problem, with people that see us, doing so well. They can be riding, the same boat, but they choose not to. They choose to stay stagnant. They choose to be in routine. They stay to what you call it, feel what's comfortable. I don't do comfortable. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to go into the unknown. That's how you grow. And it's just like, I don't know, when people say,
and that's something big to understand too. Like I mentioned this on Nick's podcast last Saturday when I was a guest. Like, it's something about growth that as a person, individual, or human, that if you haven't gotten there, you're not going to be able to understand it. You're not, and you're not going to be relatable. You're not going to be relatable. You're not going to listen when I have to say, because you got to go through it. And sometimes, like, when you've gone through an obstacle so much, it's not a mistake no more, it's a lesson. And when you hear people talking about their mistakes, you don't want to hear it. You'll brush it off because you went through that already. And like everything in life, it will pass. Like, good moments will pass, the bad ones will pass as well.
The beautiful mundaneness that comes with this wisdom after experiencing similar attributes, similar idiotic things that you start to pick up on, and you realize, yo, you guys know that you're making the same mistake over and over again, expecting a different result, right? And we know that is the definition of insanity. And so you realize this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're growing out of and growing through. Because I deal with this on a daily, and this is why a lot of times I'll speak about relationships a little bit. This is why in situations where I'm on a date, let's say, if I am on one, if at all, I already in a way kind of know what's gonna happen based on how the conversation goes, based on the dialogue, based on how the tone comes off.
Dude, I'm happy. I hear you say that, and I don't mean to interrupt you. I hear you say that, and I just thank God that I'm married, because I don't have to go through that shit no more. And I should be stressful.
Even in that,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's the reason why I speak on it, because I'm twice divorced. So even in the 30, I still couldn't find it, because I realized it wasn't that I was trying to figure it out. I already had it down packed. My partners were the ones that were still needing to do the work.
Those are kids. Those are kids.
Aren't gonna get it.
Like my wife, my wife is, she's a little. So I got a hot tamale. She's a little cougar. They're older than me. But when I met her, we were instantly connected.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like before I got married, I was dating these, messing around with these young ladies. And it's like, I'm not gonna call them stupid. I'm just gonna say, like me, many of times we just make more poor choices.
Uninvolved.
Yeah.
You know that.
But the difference is, you'll know when you have grown as a person, when your vocabulary starts to change. When you identify your mistakes and start looking at as lessons, because you are not going to make that mistake again. You're not going to make that mistake again, so it becomes a lesson.
It grows.
So I found somebody, I connect with her. Fuck. And fucking 8 years now, married. You know? So it's yeah,
do you know her, or do you know her zodiac?
She's a Leo. You think we're gonna burn this shit down? Her and me will burn. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's a level
problem.
It's a delicate process, because you have too many elements that come into play when it comes to that kind of real life. You got your own self that you're worried about. They got themselves that they got to worry about, and you both have to come together to worry about this thing called your relationship.
But how do you even explain that? How do you even try to talk shit about that, right? When you live in a society that it's like the only thing that's matter is sex, money, murder. All I know, he better buy me a Prada bag.
What I know to be true.
You want a product bag? Go live with your mother.
Yo, like, I'm not.
We were talking a little bit about it earlier, as far as like the people that we end up inspiring as public figures. That's how we get through to it. We go through the ringer. We live our lives to break them down and then reconstruct them into these mediums that we chop it up on. And anybody that actually is gonna listen and is gonna do something about it, like the few of us have, will take the gems and run with them. But unfortunately, part of the game with us is realizing the more we keep losing, there's a reason for that. You notice you got more losses than wins. It's because you're supposed to get rid of everything. You don't take nothing with you. Die. All of these encapsulated thoughts of loss, of nothingness, you realize you're going through this thing to grow as far as you can, so you can push that ball further for others.
Zay, we need to make a movie about relationships.
Well, I mean, I tried. Well, not that I tried, because trying is like maybe, and maybe it's bullshit. So I attempted basically doing, the Why Do You Love Me movie, which was just a 10-minute movie about.
Bro, that movie gave me traumas.
Dude, it's like, but it's hard
difficult conversation.
It's hard conversations to have, because like, of course you can sit there and say, oh, I love you because you're attractive, whatever, but what really is the hidden drive to really be with this person? It's because the sex, I mean, whatever. For me, it really has to be something that's of value, something that we could be different all we want. It's just a simple fact that we got to have a common goal, whether it's marriage, whether it's kids, whether it's building a foundation, doing something that really is gonna last the test of time, just not just because I just want to be with somebody, because the problem is that a lot of people are scared of rejection, and a lot of people also are scared just to be living by themselves. Like they don't want to live by themselves. They just choose whoever it is that comes by, once in a while, and okay,
in reality,
and be satisfied with that
at all. Let me fill a void that the void doesn't need to be filled. because you haven't filled that void yourself. So it's like, it's a sensitive topic, but I see it every day, like, oh, people getting divorced. Why? Oh, because we grew apart. Why is that? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, that's fine, but I think I already know the answer. People stopped auditioning. People stopped going on dates. People just got too comfortable. People got lazy. People got like, let me, just because this person is already here sleeping in my bed, I don't have to try, I don't have to continue trying. That's wrong. That's BS. You have to continue trying. Every day that you get is a blessing. You go to work every day. So if you can go to work every day, even though it can get annoying too, work at your relationship. The relationship too is a job. You can't go in it part-time and think, expect this person to love you forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they get tired too.
And then that a lot of
Can y'all support an ex?
Can I what?
Can you support your ex in their happiness?
Of course.
Define support.
Yeah.
Like business, relationship.
You're in a relationship, and in that relationship, you grow to find out that you have feelings for someone else, and your partner, who you have to tell this to, automatically chooses to support your happiness.
Hold on, wait. I'm lost in the sauce.
Same here. Say that again.
Scenario.
I feel like you're giving some crazy shit right now.
Yeah, exactly. Scenario.
For you?
Ready? Gotcha. I'm gonna fuck y'all up with this one. Someone you're in a relationship with.
Okay.
And with months, you're growing and you're doing great because, of course, you're both on the same frequency. But
so you think.
So you think.
Yeah.
So you think. But what you end up realizing is, surprise, surprise, what you thought that you were working towards, God had some other plan for. So you end up finding yourself in a situation where you're going to have to support, or you can, if you want to or choose to, support somebody that you have love for. Because they now somehow realize that they have feelings for someone else.
Well, for me, I'll go first and I'll say, okay, for me, my support is, I encourage people to be happy, to find that happiness. However,
see how long it takes. Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. That, I support them, as a human being. If that's your happiness, great. Because at the end of the day, when you love something, you'll let it go, and you'll be happy for them. My thing is this. It's, life, again, will humble you in a sense that it is completely unexpected. I know it bothers. It would, my first initial reaction would be like, mofo, bitch, you could have told me this from the very beginning, and we could have just not get, involved. Because, as time progresses, you start investing in feelings and emotions, and it gets really more serious. And then they, when you hear something like this, it is traumatic in a sense, because you think, well, wait a minute, if you don't have a strong mind, you think it's you, or you think it was your fault, or you think you wasn't good enough. But that's not the case, because you're good enough. You're great. You're fucking amazing, right? You're looking at that mirror and you're like, damn, I'm my own cheerleader. I didn't need you to to cheer me on. But this is the thing, that at the end of the day, it's,
you're happy with that truth, what you just said, because you're already whole.
You're not yes, you are happy with it. You accept it. As unfortunate as it may sound at the moment, as sometimes you just want to just do things. We all have violent impulses, but just
we've been growth this whole time. I don't know what's happening.
Right. I think, but again,
no, but it's realistic though. It's realistic.
It's part of the journey. It's what you need to see in order not to tolerate it again, and to be smarter and wiser next time. To be like, like maybe it is a lesson for you just to take more time to get to know someone, because at the end of the day, for someone to just have feelings for someone else that quick, it does raises a lot of red flags and questions.
That's how they say in Spanish. So cosa cabrón.
La vaina está de a pinga, loco.
Está bien cabrón. Nick, I love to hear what you have to say. It's about to get real here. It's about to get real cold.
I'm gonna keep it
Pull
a
up, boy.
buck. Fuck no. Look, I'm sorry. All right, fuck no. Let me explain something to you. Like, all right, yeah, I'll be like, I don't wish harm on nobody I no longer fuck with and everything, but I don't give a fuck about you after that. I'm sorry, and that's me being brutally honest because if the shoe's on the other foot, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna give a fuck about me, so I'm not gonna give a fuck about you. So, but the thing is, do I wish harm? No. Am I gonna support your happiness? Fuck no.
Hell no.
You couldn't be fucking be happy for you
You
for.
go to hell.
Like, no, that's real shit. And so like it's not. I mean, I'm not happy for you, but I'm glad you ain't. I'm glad you're living and things
Somebody
like
else
that.
got to deal with your shit.
But that's about it. Like, nah, man. Look, I've been through a similar situation like that, man. Look, it took me, it took me a lot to hold back and just like, just let that shit go. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I was ready to pull up like, bitch, you're not gonna do me like that. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like real shit. Like I really was about to do that shit. Then I just thought about it. Said, you know what?
Put some respect on my name.
I told myself, and I had to realize, you know what? Sometimes, and this is something I learned too. Sometimes people don't know who they are, and so they don't know who they are, and sometimes they hurt people without even realizing.
Yeah, but a lot of people that say that, that's some hoe shit. That's some hoe shit. It goes for men and women. That's some hoe shit.
Yeah, but look, some that's realistically, it's like some people think they ready for relationships and they hop in it, and truth be told, they really not fucking ready for it. They at all.
They scared. They scared to
Scared
be
as
about
fuck, you don't even realize it. But you know, it's like you said, they fill in the void. They'll jump in it just to fill that void because you know some people like sleeping next to somebody every day. They don't like coming home sleeping with nobody. Like me personally, I like the idea of relationship. I love it. But personally, I'm happy as shit that I'm single. I enjoy that shit. I enjoy the fuck out. Okay, I really do because, dog, I don't have no stress. I don't have no stress over this or that. This ain't a shot at anybody that got relationship marriages and nothing. Because I know when you get the relationship, the problem's going to happen, this, that, and the third. But right now, I'm happy as shit just being single, bro. Like, I'm really happy because I don't have to answer the shit.
You got Nick, he living his best life and shit.
Babe, why you ain't take the trash out? Or why you ain't get this? Like, I thought you was going to get this when you was going to the store. Shit, I forgot. I ain't got to worry about shit like that no more. I'm happy about it.
I mean, it's good. I mean, it's okay to say that, right? But it's like, again, if you truly wanted something, I always say the best thing you can do is just do it yourself. Like, it's like, okay, I get it. You couldn't make it. People make something so small, something so big. It's just, all right, I get it. I'll go. You know, don't make someone feel like, you know, attacked, because it's like, damn, I really had to. Honestly, I don't gotta get you nothing. I mean, that's just me being honest. You know, like I'm not obligated to get you this or that and third, but you know, if I didn't get it, you know, my bad. You can, you know, the door is open. You know, you're still an individual, and I feel like most people are a little too dependent on their partners, and they lose their identity.
Yes.
And then it becomes this thing where it's like you're giving the other person so much power,
and sometimes that's just like passing blame. That's passing blame because a person gets too fucking comfortable, and because that person comes to realize that they're not where they used to be at. That's that person. You got comfortable, motherfucker. You stop. If you're a man, you stop getting dressed and start looking pretty. If you're a woman, the same thing. It's the same fucking shit. But a lot of in the relationships, because I've experienced that. Like, they like to point fingers and blame one another, and just accepting you both are wrong. Because to be in a relationship and to be in a relationship, there's two. It's not one.
That's true. It's like Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan used to be like, you.
Yeah. That's one thing. In relationship and society, we love pointing fingers. We love blaming somebody. But go ahead, brother.
People, community, not my kings right here. I'm talking about all of y'all out there, every single one of you. Yes, love is actions, not just emotions. You can't keep claiming that you love somebody just because you love them. That's
It's
not a reason.
it's like Martin Luther King said, right? We don't we don't judge nobody based on the color of their skin, but by the content of the character. It goes for the same thing as love. Is your character shows if you're affectionate or not, if you want it or not. To to be in a relationship, somebody tells you out of the blue they're in love with somebody else. To support it, you're just a fucking un pendejo. You're a pendejo. You're a pendejo. Because nobody would ever, and it's not even about growth. Your heart is shattered. Have you ever gotten your heart broken? Right? Like, do you remember the last time, the first time you fell in love and your heart was broken?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take it back in my experience. A man's first love is his mother's love, point blank. Right? So if your mother, yes, it is. You can say no, it is. If your mother broke your heart, in your relationship wise, you're gonna end up getting your heart broken because
Yeah.
you have so many. It's like not insecurities, but you had so many demands without knowing. So you're in a relationship with somebody and your heart gets broken. Like, I'm not gonna support you. The best thing you can do is leave. That's real love. It's letting go. It's understanding that your time is up. Like, I remember I told episode 32 with Nick. I remember my first girlfriend ever. I had moved over here, problems over there in PR, and I was living in this shitty ass basement. I was literally pissing in a hole in the floor. I was bathing myself in a sink. Right? It was a horrible situation for me. Yeah, and every time she would call me, she was so happy, eager to be with me. And I got when you coming back, or am I going over there? I couldn't promise her shit. I couldn't promise her shit. She's here living in this fucking beautiful island. She could be living a whole fucking better life than what I'm living. I'm cold. I'm in a dirty ass basement. I got a fucking job that's only paying me $8.50 an hour. I only work 2 days, and that's weekends overnight in the hood.
We'll break all this down. Go ahead.
Right. So what do I do? What do I do? I sit and I call and I have the most uncomfortable conversation of my life, a conversation I didn't want to have. But I don't have future for me. I didn't know what my life was going to be like. I'm here in a new environment. Family's not family, no support, doing everything on my own. How am I going to promise a future for you? And I can't promise one for myself. Gotta let that shit go. And if they don't love you, listen, I tell my wife all the time, if you don't love me, that's great. Let somebody else deal with your shit. And vice versa. And vice versa. Because I know I'm not an easy person, but you let that shit go. And as you get older, it gets a little bit more easier. I can't promise you won't feel hurt or pain. Or you feel like you're going crazy because when we grieve twice. We grieve once because we missed that person, and we grieve the second time because, like, you ain't bitch motherfucker, you, out of anger. So like I said, I can't promise you it's not gonna hurt, but I promise you that the sooner you can let that person go and out of your life, the quicker you could go healing, the quicker you could go back to yourself, the quicker you'll see life still has meaning and potential, and you could go on your merry way like Nick, feeling like, I don't want to be in a relationship. Shit, it's a good life right here.
I mean, it gets tough. from time to time. Like, eventually I will settle down, but I'm just not going to settle for less.
Yeah.
And I want to speak on settling for less. We grow up with that idea this entire time, bro. From the time that we're born out the womb to the time that we get to this point. There's never been a healthy discussion 101 about actual relationship, period, especially in the minority community. And so we grow up with this notion that we're either there to serve or there to identify within another person. I could get into a multitude of things, but that's not the point. The end of this thing, ultimately, the whole lesson of it is to grow in your stoicism. You have to grow in your know-how about letting shit go, because you know already that you can barely control you as a person, and you're all you have control of technically, but not really. So with that, when you expand it and you realize you can't control nobody else either, especially in a relationship, what in the world makes you think that choosing to feel, not even choosing, but allowing your human emotions to escape you, to give others control, regardless of what they may, quote unquote, do to you, do at you, do in your direction? Anything of that nature has everything to do with giving up your self-control, your self-worth, your self-awareness, understanding. Only thing you should do, aside from getting away, like you say, is giving back that love and energy, because karma is real.
Yeah.
And karma doesn't just go for the intended hurt. Karma goes for the quiet, unintended hurt as well. And you just don't know it or even realize it when it's coming. And so it's always best to practice dharma within self and know that no matter what anybody does, you're always going to be whole. No matter what anybody say, you always going to be whole. That's that cockiness that you were talking about. It ain't never been about that. It's always been about self-awareness and knowing the wholeness within. Those who are made for you, like the four of us in here, will recognize one another and be in communion. Those who aren't made for us won't be here, and they're not. And so as he, let's say Nicholas, as he continues to practice in his kingship, in his royalty, that queen will present herself when she recognizes his royalty, or vice versa. It ain't got anything to do with him figuring it out. He needs to let that go, like we all do. The idea of relationship was never about us going and controlling that notion. It was always about knowing who we already were, because that's who you're coming with when you're in a relationship.
I think that also the best way when you get out of a relationship, don't go and jump in another relationship. You know, like you need to give yourself time to let go of that fucking baggage. Because now you get in a relationship and you're just the other person is playing for broken plates that somebody else did to you. And now you go into a relationship with trauma and fear, and somebody who's only meant to love you. You're pushing them away.
That's all practice. You can consider that being practice in your Kobe Bryant becoming the best one at fucking your life up every jump shot you take.
Yeah. And then, like, going back to what you said about healthy conversations, you have to grow, because there's only two types of conversations you're gonna have. One is you have to be have enough growth to have a conversation about feelings and be open to understand what other person it's feeling, so that other person can do the same for you. And second, if you can't do that, then it goes down to facts. It goes back to like you're being in a courtroom. So about facts. Your emotional cause you to make these consequential things, and now we're judging you on fact. The fact is you let somebody else in between us. The fact that you gave somebody else time. The fact that you started talking about somebody behind my back. The fact that you slowly wanted this. The fact is you went down to that rabbit hole. And the fact is that you're telling me now you don't love me and I love somebody else.
I'm gonna say this real quick. The power that's invested in me, I don't have it with me right now. But you all have graduated the doctor, Dr. Dio, Dr. Elvis, Dr. Zay. Congratulations. I'm proud of y'all. We done said some fucking
Yeah. It's been a hell of a ride. thank you guys for joining me at last minute. I think this has been a way better episode than the one I was gonna have. So
Everything happens for a reason.
yes. So I wanted this episode. We've been dropping gems after gems. So I really want it, because it's so powerful what we've been talking about. I want to end it differently. So I want each and one of you to either say something you're thankful of, or say a lesson you have learned lately. Then tell the people they can find you at. So who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. All right. I learned that losses in life isn't really a loss. It's a lesson. And every loss you have, you got to learn from it. You want to grow from it. Also, I learned that cherish every moment in life, whether it's good or bad. It happened for a reason, and it's never going to stop. You know, time is always going to move forward. Time is not going to stop. So cherish every moment, live, love, laugh, enjoy, get to know people, put good energy in this world, be a king, be a queen, raise kings, raise queens, and just show love, show love. Like everyone in here, like I met y'all. Well, no, Elvis, I met you this year. Zay, I met you last year. Theo, I met you last year. But y'all been great fucking people that I met. I enjoyed conversations we had. Like right here is a beautiful fucking conversation. It's very beautiful, intelligent, but it's also, you know, it's a learning experience for me too. Because I always tell people you can learn just by talking. You think you know it all and you don't. Someone could sit there and drop some gems. I like when I first met Elvis, he said some shit. I said, oh shit, I was thinking about this shit, but this way, but he just broke this shit down a whole nother way I never thought about.
While he was flexing.
Exactly. And Zay, you're a great fucking guy. You bring enjoyment. I see what you do and everything, and I see your strive, how you strive for greatness and how you're doing it, man. I love that shit. I respect that. Dio, you my boy. You fucking inspirational. You're like a battery in my back. You constantly be on my head like, yo, bro. You know what I mean? So I got love for all y'all, man. I'm happy to see that everybody's doing something great. And I love that. And I love giving good energy, period.
Amen to that.
Nick Espinoza _215 on Instagram. Go there and you see everything I do.
Boom. Who wants to go next?
I'll guess I'll go. There's been a lot of F-bombs on this segment.
Good.
That's fucking amazing. What I've learned is that everyone is going to disappoint you in one way, shape, or form. And the moment that you realize that, is the moment that you can finally find peace in yourself. And when something happens, you don't take it so seriously. You don't take it to the heart. You just accept it for what it is, accept what happens, and you move on. And I always say that, whatever you don't allow in your life cannot hurt you. Sometimes you have to, walk the talk, and you have to put on your big boy pants and just keep walking and really make, those genuine connections. And the only way that you can do that is by knowing yourself, being clear with yourself, and just knowing that unfortunate notion that everyone is going to disappoint you in one shape or form. So that's all I really got to say for that. And for you gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to connect with you guys. You guys are very all inspiring. Keep pushing, keep creating, keep breaking down barriers. And if people think that this is not going anywhere, yeah, you people that are watching that are probably like, oh my God, this is like 2 hours long, and I didn't sit through to watch the whole episode, or you skip some things. Well, maybe you're skipping to the very best part, the ending, in which each one of us is saying something inspirational that you guys have to really take into consideration, because you might be the one that is lost. So you know, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. But if you can't find it, just be that light. That's it.
I'm into that. Elvis. Oh,
Just-
tell the people where they can find you. Hold on.
Oh, you guys can find me, what you call it, in my room. No, I'm just kidding. It's at the official Zay Rod on Instagram, and Instagram. Hope
There you
to
go.
see you guys.
All right, that's a salute to that. Listen, I just got 3 things. Nothing in this world has any meaning except the meaning you give it. Hold that one down. Hold it to the head. I don't know what you make of it, but whatever you choose. This week for me, I'll use this week as a life lesson that I've learned up to now, right? Honesty, right? Just honesty. Be honest. If you're fucking up, be honest. If you're cheating, if you're lying, if you're hoeing, if you're not, be honest. Stand in your truth. If you feel like you're not supposed to be where you're at, if you feel like you're in the wrong job, if you feel like you chose the wrong person, give them that respect and be honest. Because you only got, and this is my third one. Just one. You're not going to get another. We're not coming back. There's no reset button like the Nintendo. You're not coming back. You just got one. So nothing in this world has any meaning except the meaning you give it. Honesty. One life. Appreciate you. You can find me at Instagram, official_EJM. Official, all lowercase, _EJM. Love. Appreciate y'all, kings, as always.
Boom. I guess it's my turn. Go ahead, Zay.
Oh, no. What all these kings are saying, again, people, just pay attention.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll go. So I want to give what I've learned, especially this week, right, is like sometimes we have to take a little step back and to get a better perspective on life. You know, I had a moment last week, and I sat down on the floor and I just looked at my son, right? And I remember when I had him in my hands, when he just came out of the womb, and he's 5 years old. And like the first 3 years of his life, I was fucking working. Had 4 or 5 jobs at one point, and I've been so preoccupied on building a business and working and making money and bills and responsibilities and all this fucking bullshit that comes with life. In order for you to live a decent life, that we forget what's right in front of us. And by the time we actually realize what is in front of us, a whole bunch of time has passed. And you look at yourself and we're older. Our beard has gotten longer. We got more grays. Like, and all I want to do sometimes is hug my son and kiss him and smother him with love and affection. And there's going to come a point in time that I'm not going to be able to do that. So take that moment, take a step back, and see what you have in front of you. Because it's not always going to be there. And if it's not going to be there, you're not going to be able to appreciate it, then what are we doing? We're not living this life to the fullest. My name is Diomar King Diaz. This is DIOTALK. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me at last minute. Thank you, Zay. It's been an honor, as always.
Always.
Nick, it's been an honor. My brother Elvis, it's been an honor.
Pleasure.
Let's do this again. I think we need to drop more gems. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night, gentlemen. I'm out.